Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? Guys, this whole President Company show is pretty good. I like the pace of it. It didn't feel too slow and it doesn't feel like it's going too fast, but at the same time, another character who is definitely being overlooked and being looked down upon is catching my attention very quickly just by the way that they're not only putting out his way of life or like his way of just, you know, trying to figure out ways to keep this company together now. It's giving me a good feeling that the show wants to be not so much straightforward, but that it wants to be well done in the case of building up characters, building up background characters that we might not really care about at the end of the day, but could be potentially helpful at the end of the end of it all, just because of how just by the way that they're introduced, pretty much. It feels like there's a chance for them to kind of just meld into what our people are going to be doing all the time because, for instance, this whole event right here, if they run into something that's ridiculously dangerous or something, they can probably run them into a higher class company if they couldn't handle it and pretty much be alright. But I mean, I don't see them really doing that because just of how the pride that they have and stuff like that. But it's possible, right? Like they could easily just be like, oh, well, let's just have someone else handle all of this trouble for us while we do something else. And I would feel like the show could still feel like its normal self doing that just by the way that they introduce the characters. But with what we learned this week, not only did our main character and the girl who recruited him, who seems like the true main character, um, they have had a personal relationship since they were kids, or they had a childhood friendship. So it also makes a lot of sense why she would probably be working for her or for his father, and then after the father kind of just goes MIA, she would want someone remotely close to how the father handles things, and believing that he would be able to do that makes sense. So it's cool to see these things pretty much adding up and just understanding the thought process put behind recruiting him and having him on the team and whatnot. So these are the types of things I'm just looking forward to them to elaborate more on because, uh, like we see with the girl who's in the rival company that supposedly wants one of the teammates of our main character, um, she's a rank 5 star. Like our main guy is 2 star, while there's a 5 star like right next to him. And for some reason, I think she was just playing dumb or coy. Like she said she was watching him and wants to keep an eye on him. So I do believe she could have easily answered the questions that she was sitting there waiting for. But I think this was just a better way for her to gauge where his talents lie. And that's another reason why I like this episode is they just go to show you that even when people, have doubts or they're consistent on watching someone and because they have a feeling about them, when that feeling becomes right, then we get to see just what the heck they're going to do as a whole afterwards, or how they're going to approach it now that they know such information and stuff like that, which I'm mainly looking forward to because I don't really understand what they're going to do with this president character. Like, for instance, he can answer questions and stuff, but how strong will he become? If they go into the place where there's all that inherent stuff, like the weapons and stuff that they saw that the father had gave to the museum, are they gonna get ridiculously broken because they get those weapons, right? Like, Are they going to be the weird weapons that they already have in their office that one of them, if you get cut by it, you get like the worst, you like get, I forgot what it was. It was something about money though, like you go in debt or something like that even more than he already was. You just by getting cut, you just all of a sudden will be the worst person with money, or you'll be the brokest person. Another one, you wouldn't be able to help but laugh at every single thing you saw. Uh, Another one makes it so you're weak, you're cursed, and you're sickly. So, excuse me. Uh, it seemed like a really good opportunity for the show just to be like, okay, we have some of the weirdest things throughout this world that actually exist, and if we use them for messed up reasons, like actually wanting, like for instance, if they took all those weapons into this fight and they just started beating people up with them, then they would win easily. Some people would be sickly while other people are trying to figure out their debt problems, and then you go into the problem of whatchamacallit. You go into the problem of who is actually going to get, you know, if you use the weapon, do you get hurt by it and stuff like that. So I thought it was funny, but at the same time, does that mean that the dad, since he collected those weapons, did he also have put the ones inside the museum and they're the same thing, right? Like, is he that crazy that he thought all these really bad weapons can be good or something? So I'm interested in seeing what are the museum weapons have in store if they ever get them, because that inherence taxes is ridiculous that they had to pay. So I don't know if they're actually going to wind up getting them, or because it might just be a waste at that point. You might as well just stick with what you got, use the money to upgrade and not upgrade, to repair your equipment that they pretty much said that they couldn't do. And regardless of all the other stuff, I can definitely see this show just zooming past a bunch of weird stuff and getting strong, because like the last show, there was already a time skip very early on, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do a time skip. They just time skips just seem um, a lot more easier for audience to absorb sometimes, because this company is deeply, deeply in trouble. And if they actually win first place, that's the only way I can see them getting out of their problems with debt and stuff like that, or just being bankrupt. Um, but then you gotta imagine that after that, they are going to be in a position where they can, either grow some more, or they can either learn more about the overall changes that are coming, because as of right now, I'm pretty sure uh, the only person who really cares about this company is the two people we were watching give them hard times the whole time. No one else really cares about them, right? Like, they're not part of their focus, they're not part of their scope. And we know that there's some first class companies and there's the low class like ours. So I'm just looking forward to more of this world building and showing me what actually is going to be possible. Like, the weapons are ridiculously weird already, and now I want to know how there's really weird weapons that you would never want to use, and I want to know just how powerful the weapons that you do want to use are. Like, how much of a skill buffs do you get, or stats and stuff like that, because it seems kind of ridiculous that all of a sudden the one thing that you get is like a weapon that could put people in debt or make people laugh forever, pretty much turn them into the Joker. Um, all that type of stuff is just not, it's not really like what they would want as their main weapons. So I do truly like where this world is going, because for the bad things that are in the world, there's usually twice as good things, just naturally. Or they're going to be like, nope, there isn't anything good in this, and you just gotta accept it. So we'll see how it all turns out. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from you guys. And I'll talk to you in the next one. So with all that being said, take care and peace.